Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. If you haven't already checked out the chicken and garden update, please go and do that now. That's already been published on this very channel earlier today. If you do not like chickens or gardening, don't worry about it. Just join me here for the Sunday musing. And today I have a Sunday musing with a difference. There's a very loud, very old Jeep just went up the road. I had to double check because I thought there for a second it might have been an old Land Rover, but no, I think it was in fact a Jeep. So today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different, namely the rules of the road as we use them on a daily basis. Why has this popped up in my head? Well, in the last couple of weeks, I've had to go to the DMV not once, but twice. Once to get a new updated driving license. It is my 44th birthday. I can't remember. It's my 44th birthday in a few weeks' time, and so I had to go and get a new driving license because it expired. The photo bit expired, so I went and got a new driving license. So I had to go to the DMV for that. And then in the middle of next week, I'm going to introduce you to a new project vehicle that I have just acquired. And so I had to go and register and title that this last week at the DMV. So I have been hanging around the DMV a lot, and I've overheard conversations about people who are learning their driver's test, taking their driver's test. They've been learning to drive. Maybe they're trying to get their learner's permit. Also people who have been suspended from driving for whatever reason, applying to get their licenses back. And it's made me think quite a lot about the rules of the road as you are familiar with them wherever you happen to be, whether you are in a US state, and some states have very weird rules about roads. For example, I think New Jersey doesn't have anything on the books about how you should behave at a roundabout other than do what is normal in that particular instance. And that sounds weird, and I'm not going to go any further into that. But I know that some places have very strict rules about what you can and cannot do. Of course, if you're in the UK, you have the highway code. That changes very frequently, as I learned when I went back recently. Some of the things that I used to be able to do, you can't do anymore. Or some expectations have changed. Let's look at it like that. For the most part, though, the rules that are laid out in law about how we should drive are designed to make the road a safer place for everybody. Things like stay below the speed limit, give way to other drivers in these particular circumstances, pull over to the side of the road if there is an emergency vehicle coming along. Other things are unwritten. Certain behaviours are unwritten, and while everybody may do them, they may not actually be legal where you live. But for the most part, it's all about safety. It's all about making sure that you get home at the end of the day. But it got me thinking, are there any rules of the road that you would like to see changed specifically to make driving a greener experience? Maybe you want to see a lot of stop signs replaced with roundabouts because that can actually reduce accidents. It can reduce congestion, which in turn reduces air pollution. Maybe you want speed limits to be changed so that in certain areas, if you have a vehicle with a certain amount of emissions, you can't drive above a certain speed limit. Or maybe you want there to be more zero emission zones, and you want that to be part of the rules of the road wherever you happen to live. Maybe that's something you would like to see in order to try and make driving, riding, using the road a greener, safer place for everybody. I've been thinking about speed limits a lot as well. I know some parts of the US have ridiculously high speed limits. Some parts of Texas, for example, there are roads in Texas a few of them. I believe they're all toll roads, so you have to pay to use them, with a top speed of 85 miles an hour. But of course, everybody ignores the speed limit and they tend to go at least 20 or 30 miles per hour faster than that. So you end up with people driving at 100 plus miles an hour, which isn't very economical, of course. And then people say, well, Texas is big and, you know, you need to be able to get across large swathes of it very quickly. And I tend to kind of come back with the retort that most of the roads that have those super high speed limits are ones in fairly suburban areas. And so therefore you're not necessarily going hugely long distances. So that seems to be a bit of a disconnect. My postal service person is just going up the road and I don't have any mail today. That's good to know. I'll have to walk across and pick up my mail from the mailbox. Perhaps you would like to see a change in the highway code or the rules of the road where you live so that cyclists always get the right of way, or says that they don't have to stop at stop signs. I know here in Oregon they changed the rules recently, so cyclists don't have to completely stop at stop signs. They can actually slow right down and then carry on as long as it's safe for them to do so. Maybe you would like to see cyclists always get priority. Maybe you would like to see other road users always get priority in a way that right now in some parts of the world they don't get, because cars are king and cars rule the world. So I would love to know if you have any rules that you would like to see changed, or any policies that you would like to see adopted, either at your local level, so your local town or city, maybe a regional level, or perhaps a nationwide level. I would love to get the conversation started in the comments section, because, you know, I feel that the rules of the road that have developed over the last 100 years or so very much prioritize big, stinky, noisy vehicles, and maybe we could be prioritizing other types of vehicles. Maybe we just need to reduce all traffic speed in cities and reduce signs. I know in parts of the Netherlands they've done away with stop signs in some areas, or they've set it so that bicycles can all go at the same time, because if you're on a bicycle and you're traveling slower, you have time to adjust if there's something coming straight towards you. Anyway, leave me your thoughts in the comments section below. And as usual, if you haven't watched the chicken and garden update, I highly recommend that you do. We have a great video for you lined up for Monday. A lot of people have reached out and said, hey, did you know that Hoovie's been saying things again about the F-150 Lightning? I know. Hoovie's been saying things again about the F-150 Lightning, and there is a video dropping tomorrow on Monday on the main channel in which I discuss some of the things that he's been saying. And then, as I said, in the middle of the week, you get to see our new project vehicle that has come to live with me. I went and got it 2 weekends ago, and if you follow me on Mastodon, you've probably already seen it, but many of you will not have done. Of course, if you want to support us, hit the bell, follow the links below, and regularly support us with a YouTube channel membership or a Patreon subscription. There's also links below to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, as well as our Mastodon server. Scrolling on my right is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and if you are not on that list yet, I know Neil and some of you also reached out and said, hey, mine not on the list, why not? We're very sorry. Things have been quite busy here, and we've been trying to get our new Halloween design t-shirt out, which has just dropped in our Transport Evolved store, or will be dropping, I think, tomorrow. We've also been on the road a lot, and I'm sorry, we haven't got that list out yet, but that doesn't mean we're not thankful for all of you amazing people who are supporting the channel. And if you have joined and your name's not there, please be patient. We're going to tweak things a little bit in the coming month. If you are on the list, thank you, as always. And also thanks very much to our V2G Patreon supporters, Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hay Esker, John Tramal, Carl Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Regine Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stefan Fremgen, Stephen Williams, Tesla in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris Asentar, Denny Hyde, Lance Schlall, Linda Irish, Mike Reeder and Paul Nelson. And finally, big thanks to our off-grid supporters, Paul Conway, Kevin Barrabridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hunn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, Chris and Michael Johnson, Clay Witt, CPU Freak 101, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we make content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday over on our main channel, and then you can join us here on a Sunday on Transport Evolved Take 2 for our chicken and garden update, and for this, which was our Sunday musing. Whatever you enjoy next, I hope you have a great one, and until next time, keep evolving.